The cold bit into Han Sol Kim's bones as the cryogenic pod hissed open. Ice crystals fell from his dark hair as he gasped, his lungs burning with the first breath of recycled air. The lights in the pod bay flickered weakly, casting strange shadows on the metal walls. Lieutenant Commander Kim, a soft female voice spoke from the speakers. "Welcome back?" Han Sol tried to sit up, but his muscles felt like water. How long had he been asleep? The last thing he remembered was the attack on Earth's moon base. Explosions, screaming, the order to retreat. "Computer," he croaked, his voice barely working. "Status report." "I am Dr. So-Young Park's AI Matrix," the voice said gently. "I have unfortunate news. The war ended 15 years ago. Humanity surrendered to the Valthran Empire." The words hit Han Sol harder than any enemy weapon. He forced himself to stand, legs shaking. Around him, dozens of other cryopods lined the walls. All of them were dark and silent. The others? "You are the only survivor, Commander. Life support failed in the other pods 3 years ago. I kept your pod running on emergency power." Han Sol stumbled toward the nearest pod and wiped frost from the viewing window. Inside, he saw the peaceful face of Sergeant Yang, his weapons specialist. She would never wake up. None of them would. "Show me what happened," Han Sol said. The wall screen flickered to life. Images flashed by, Earth's orbital stations exploding, human ships retreating, then surrender documents signed by President Chen. The Valthran ships were massive, dark things that looked like metal spiders. Their weapons turned human battleships into scrap in seconds. After the surrender, humans were relocated to designated worlds, So Young's AI explained. They work in mines, factories, and farms. The Valthrans call it integration. Integration? Han Sol spat. "You mean slavery." "The term the Valthrans use is productive citizenship," the AI said carefully. "Human culture has been discouraged. Earth is now a Valthran military base." Han Sol found his uniform hanging in his locker. The blue fabric felt strange after so many years. His reflection in the mirror showed a man who should have been 35, but cryo-sleep had kept him young. Gray eyes stared back at him, filled with rage. "Where are we now?" "Drifting in the neutral zone. Our beacon failed years ago. The Valthrans believe this ship was destroyed in the last battle." Han Sol walked to the bridge, his bare feet silent on the cold floor. The ship felt dead. Around him, no crew voices, no humming engines, just the quiet whisper of life support. The captain's chair sat empty, waiting. He dropped into the pilot's seat and activated the sensors. Space looked the same as always. Cold stars scattered across black nothing. But now those stars belonged to the enemy. Long-range sensors detect. "A transport convoy," So Young reported. 3 human civilian ships escorted by 2 Valthran cruisers. They are heading toward Kepler 442b. "What's on Kepler 442b?" "A labor colony. Humans mine rare metals for the Valthran war machine." Han Sol studied the sensor readings. The civilian ships were old Earth transports packed with people like cattle. His people. His hands tightened. "On the controls. How many weapons do we have left?" "Minimal. 2 torpedo tubes, basic shields, and stealth systems. This ship was designed for reconnaissance, not combat." "But we're still invisible to them?" "Correct. Our stealth field remains functional." Han Sol watched the convoy move slowly across his screen. Inside those ships were thousands of humans being shipped to a life of slavery. He thought of Sergeant Yang in her cold pod, of all his crew who would never see home again. "So Young, can you identify anyone important in those transports?" The AI was quiet for a moment, processing. "I detect Dr. Miran Choi, former terraforming engineer. She helped design Earth's defense systems. Also former Marine Dongwoo Lee and xenobiologist Hye Jin Nam." "Engineers and soldiers," Han Sol muttered. People who know how to fight. Commander, this ship cannot defeat 2 Valthran cruisers. Maybe not in a straight fight. Han Solo began typing commands into the navigation system. But those cruisers don't know we exist. What are you planning? Han Solo smiled for the first time in 15 years. It was not a pleasant smile. I'm planning to wake up some humans. The ship's engines came online with a low rumble. After years of drifting, the Defiant Hope was moving again. Han Solo set course. For the convoy, staying in the asteroid field where the stealth systems would hide them best. The Velthrans destroyed our fleets, he said, watching the enemy ships grow larger on screen. They conquered our worlds. They think we're broken. Are we not? So Young asked quietly. Maybe most humans are. Maybe they've accepted this new life. Han Solo reached for the weapons controls. But they made one mistake. What mistake? They left one of us awake. The torpedo tubes loaded with soft mechanical sounds. The targeting system painted red squares around the Vaelthran cruisers. Han Solo knew he could destroy one, maybe both. But that would kill the human prisoners too. Instead, he targeted the escort ship's engines. Disable, don't destroy. Rescue, don't revenge. 15 years ago, they thought they won the war. Han Solo whispered. Let's show them they were wrong. His finger hovered over the firing control. In a few seconds, everything would change. The secret peace the galaxy had known would be broken. The Vaelthrons would know that somewhere in the darkness, between the stars, at least one human was still fighting. So Young's voice was soft. Are you sure about this, Commander? Han Solo thought of Earth burning, of his crew sleeping forever in their frozen tombs, of millions of humans bent under alien rule. The rage inside him was cold and patient, like the space around them. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. He pressed the button. The first torpedo struck the lead Vaelthran cruiser's engine section. Blue fire erupted from the ship's rear as its power systems failed. The second torpedo hit the escort vessel's weapons array, sending debris spinning into space. Direct hits, So Young reported. Both ships are disabled but intact. Han Solo watched the Vaelthran ships drift helplessly. Their distress signals filled the radio channels, calling for help that was hours away. He had maybe 30 minutes before reinforcements arrived. Transport ships are trying to flee, So Young said. Block their path. Don't fire on them. Han Solo activated the communication system. Human vessels, this is Lieutenant Commander Han Solo Kim of the Earth Defense Fleet. Prepare to be rescued. Static filled the channel. Then a woman's voice, suspicious and afraid. Earth Defense Fleet was destroyed 15 years ago. Not all of it. Han Solo brought the Defiant Hope alongside the nearest transport. Through the viewports, he could see hundreds of faces pressed against the glass, staring at his ship in wonder. I'm coming aboard. Han Solo put on his spacesuit and crossed to the transport through an airlock tube. The moment he stepped inside, the smell hit him. Too many people in too small a space, fear and desperation thick in the recycled air. A woman with short black hair stepped forward. She was thin, like all of them, but her eyes burned with intelligence. I'm Miran Choi. You're really military? Am. Does it matter? Han Solo looked around at the crowd of humans watching him. Men, women, children, all dressed in gray worker clothes. How many ships? 3 transports. About 800 people total. Miran studied his face. You don't look 15 years older. Cryo sleep. Listen, we don't have much time. Those Vaelthran ships are calling for help. A large man pushed through the crowd. His posture screamed military training despite the civilian clothes. Dongwoo Lee, former Marine. If you're planning a rescue, count me in. And me. A young woman with glasses joined them. Yejin Nam, xenobiologist. I know Vaelthran technology. Miran grabbed Han Solo's arm. Before you get us all killed, you need to understand what you're fighting. The Velthrons didn't just defeat us, they erased us. Earth is gone. Most colonies are strip mines now. Humans are scattered across 50 worlds, all of them labor camps. How many humans are left? Maybe 2 billion. There were 12 billion before the war. The number hit Han Solo like a physical blow. 10 billion people, dead or vanished. He forced himself to stay calm. What about resistance? Surely someone kept fighting. Dongwu shook his head. The surrender was total. Anyone who resisted was sent to the punishment worlds. We haven't heard from those places in years. But you're here, Han Solo said. You're not broken. Miran smiled bitterly. We're being transported to Kepler 442b because we caused too much trouble on New Sol Colony. The Vilthrons think hard labor will fix our attitudes. Will it? We'll die first. Han Solo liked her immediately. Good. Can you fly a ship? I designed the navigation systems for half the Earth fleet. Of course I can fly a ship. What about those Valthran cruisers? Can we capture them? Hai-Jin pushed her glasses up. Their crews are probably 20 soldiers each. We have 800 people. Angry people, Dongwu added with a grin. So young. Han Solo spoke into his communicator. Can you hack Velthron systems? Unknown. Their technology is different from ours, but Dr. Choi might be able to help. Myran's eyes widened. So young Park? Her AI matrix survived? She kept me alive for 15 years. Now she's going to help us steal some alien ships. Within an hour, they had captured both Velthron vessels. The aliens fought hard but were outnumbered 40-1. Han Solo was surprised by how eager the humans were to fight. 15 years of slavery had not broken their spirit. It had compressed it into something explosive. Their weapons are energy-based, Hai-Jin reported from the captured cruiser's bridge. But the targeting systems are simple. I can modify them for human use. Miran worked at another console. These ships have star maps. Look at this. The holographic display showed the local sector. Red dots marked Vilthron military bases. Yellow dots were human colonies, all of them marked as resource extraction sites. Kepler 442b has 50,000 humans, Miran read from the data. Iron mining. Tau Ceti has 30,000 doing orbital construction. Proxima Station. She paused. Proxima Station is marked as Behavioral Modification Center. What does that mean? I don't know. But it's not good. Dongwu studied the tactical display. We have 2 armed ships now. We could hit some of these sites. And do. What? We can't evacuate 50,000 people. No, Han Solo said slowly. But we can give them weapons. Over the next 3 weeks, they became ghosts haunting Velthron supply lines. They would strike fast, take what they needed, and vanish before reinforcements arrived. Food, medicine, weapons. Everything went to human colonies that had forgotten what hope looked like. But their most valuable discovery came from Miran's damaged memory files. Before Earth's surrender, she and other scientists had hidden advanced technology across abandoned human installations. Secret weapons designed to give humanity an edge it never got to use. Project Prometheus, she explained as they drifted in, an asteroid field hiding from a Velthran patrol. We knew we were losing, so we buried our best tech where the survivors could find it. What kind of technology? Neural interfaces, adaptive AI systems, quantum computers that learn and evolve. Miran pulled up star charts showing dozens of hidden locations. The Velthrons are advanced, but they're predictable. They think in straight lines. We designed Prometheus to think like humans, chaotic, creative, unpredictable. Han Solo stared at the hidden treasure map of human innovation. How many sites? 47. Installations across 20 systems. And the Velthrons don't know about them? They never found a single one. On the bridge of the captured cruiser, now renamed Awakening, Han Solo felt something he had not experienced in 15 years. Hope, not just for survival, but for victory. So young, he called to the AI. Set course for the nearest Prometheus site. Course laid in, Commander. But be advised, Phylthran Captain Tae-Hyun Yoon has been assigned to hunt us. Intelligence reports indicate he is very good at his job. Han Sol looked at the faces around him. Mi Ran at the navigation station. Dong Wu checking weapons. Haye Jin studying alien technology. 3 weeks ago they had been prisoners bound for slavery. Now they were warriors preparing to reclaim their birthright. Let Captain Yoon come, Han Sol said. It's time he learned what happens when you wake up sleeping humans. The ship jumped to hyperspace, carrying its cargo of liberated souls towards secrets buried in the darkness between stars. Behind them, Valthron sensor stations recorded. Another mysterious attack, another impossible disappearance. The ghosts were hunting. The abandoned mining station Series 7 spun slowly against the star field, a tomb of twisted metal and broken dreams. Han Sol guided the awakening through the debris field that had once been humanity's furthest outpost. No signs of life. Haye Jin reported from sensors. But the station's core is intact, just like Mi Ran said it would be. Han Sol activated the docking procedure. So young, any Velthron activity in this system? None detected. However, Captain Tae-Hyun's hunter fleet was last seen 2 systems away. Mi Ran worked at the navigation console, her fingers dancing over holographic controls. The Prometheus cache should be in Section 7, behind the old hydroponics lab. We hid it where no one would think to look. They crossed into the station through airlocks that groaned with age. Emergency lighting cast red shadows down empty corridors where humans had once lived and worked. Now only silence remained. This place gives me the creeps, Dongwu muttered, his rifle ready. It should, Mi Ran said quietly. 3,000. People lived here. When the Velthrons came, they had nowhere to run. They found the cache exactly where Mi Ran remembered. Behind a false wall in the abandoned hydroponics section, a room full of sleeping technology waited. Computers, weapons, and strange devices that seemed to pulse with inner light. Neural interface headsets, Mi Ran explained, lifting one of the metallic crowns. They let humans connect directly with any computer system, including alien ones. Haye Jin examined another device. This looks like some kind of AI core. It is. Meet Wu Jin Shin's consciousness. He was our best tech specialist before everything. Mi Ran connected the device to a portable power supply. Wu Jin, wake up! The device hummed to life. A young man's voice emerged from the speakers. Mi Ran, is that you? How long have I been asleep? 15 years. Wu Jin, meet Han Sol Kim. He's leading what's left of the resistance. Resistance? The AI's voice grew excited. Then we didn't all give up. Some of us are too stubborn to quit, Han Sol said. Can you explain how this neural interface works? It's based on human brain structure, Wu Jin explained. Humans evolved pattern recognition under extreme stress. When you're running from a predator, your brain processes information faster than any computer. The interface amplifies that ability. Dong Wu picked up one of the headsets. And this lets us hack alien technology? Better than that. It lets. You think like alien technology, then think one step ahead. The Vilethrians build their systems hierarchically. Everything reports to something higher. But human brains don't work that way. We think in networks, associations, creative jumps. Mi Ran was already putting on one of the headsets. The Valthron's weakness is that they're too organized. They can't imagine chaos. Be careful, Wu Jin warned. The interface is powerful, but it can be overwhelming. Start with something simple. Mi Ran closed her eyes and connected to the station's mainframe. Suddenly, the lights came on throughout Series 7. Air circulation systems hummed to life. The artificial gravity stabilized. Incredible. she whispered. "I can see the entire station's network. It's like being inside the machine." They spent hours learning the technology. The neural interfaces worked better than anyone had hoped. Hyojin could analyze Valthron weapon systems just by touching them. Dongwu learned to operate alien shields as if they were extensions of his own body. But their greatest discovery was the prototype ship hidden in Series 7's main docking, Bay. The Phoenix was smaller than their captured cruiser but packed with experimental human technology. Adaptive armor that learned from each attack, weapons that evolved their targeting systems in real time, and most importantly, a quantum AI that could think as fast as human intuition. "We built this as a proof of concept," Miran explained as they explored the ship. "One vessel that could adapt to anything the enemy threw at it." "Why didn't you use it during the war?" "We ran out of time. The final battle came before we could test it properly." Han Sol sat in the captain's chair, feeling the ship respond to his presence. The neural interface built into the seat connected him to every system. He could feel the engines like muscles, the sensors like extended eyes. "So Young, transfer yourself to this ship." "Are you certain, Commander? The quantum AI system might not be compatible with my matrix." "Then we'll make it compatible." "Wu Jin, can you help?" "Already on it," the tech specialist's voice replied. "So Young, prepare for integration." The process took several hours, but when it was complete, So Young's voice came from the Phoenix's speakers with new strength and clarity. "Fascinating," she said. "I can process information much faster now, and I'm detecting something troubling." "What?" "Long-range sensors show a massive Valthran fleet gathering at Proxima Station. Whatever they're planning, it involves a lot of ships. They were preparing to leave Series 7 when the attack came. 3 Valthran destroyers dropped out of hyperspace, weapons already firing. Captain Tae-hyun had found them. All hands, battle." "Stations!" Han Sol shouted into the communicator. "Miran, take the Awakening! Dongwu, you're with me on the Phoenix!" The 2 human ships separated, drawing the enemy into a crossfire. But they were outgunned and outnumbered. The Phoenixes, experimental shields held, but barely. "Their targeting is too good," Dongwu reported. "They're compensating for our maneuvers." Han Sol put on the neural interface headset. Suddenly, he was connected to both ships, all their systems flowing through his consciousness. He could see the Valthran attack patterns, predict their movements, anticipate their tactics. "Miran, swing wide left on my mark. Dongwu, target their lead ship's reactor core. So Young, prepare to upload a virus to their navigation systems." "What virus?" So Young asked. "The one you're about to create. Use Wu Jin's chaos algorithms." The battle became a dance of human unpredictability against alien precision. Every time the Valthrans adapted to their tactics, the humans changed completely. Random maneuvers that somehow worked. Impossible shots that found their targets through. Pure luck. Or maybe not luck. Maybe human intuition was just a word for processing information too fast for conscious thought. The breakthrough came when Han Sol used the neural interface to connect directly to a damaged Valthran destroyer. Instead of trying to destroy it, he took control of it. The alien ship's weapons turned on its companions. Its own missiles struck its sister vessels. In minutes, the Valthran formation was torn apart by their own technology. "Impossible," came a voice over the communication channel. Captain Tae-hyun speaking perfect English. "How did you penetrate our systems?" "We didn't penetrate them," Han Sol replied. "We became them. Then we became something they couldn't understand. This is not over, human." "No, it's just beginning." The surviving Valthran ships retreated, leaving the humans victorious but shaken. They had won, but at a cost. The secret of their location was revealed. "We need to move," Miran said. "Every Valthran in the sector will be looking for us now." Han Sol nodded, but he was smiling. The neural interface had shown him something important. The Valthrans were not invincible. They were just predictable, and predictable enemies could be beaten. Set course for the Tau Ceti colony, he ordered. It's time to liberate some more humans. What about Captain Tae-hyun? Dong-woo asked. Let him come. Every battle teaches us more about how they think, and how we can think faster. The Phoenix and Awakening jumped to hyperspace, carrying their cargo of revolutionary technology toward the next human world that needed freedom. Behind them, Series 7 drifted silent again, but it was no longer a tomb. It was a birthplace, the place where humanity learned to fight back with its greatest weapon, the chaos of human creativity. The message came on an old Earth frequency that had been silent for 15 years. Jiwan Yang's voice crackled through the static, filled with joy and exhaustion. This is Altair 3. The prison is ours. Repeat, the prison is ours. Han Sol leaned forward in the Phoenix's captain's chair. Jiwan, this is Han Sol Kim. Report your status. Commander Kim, they said you were dead. Jiwan's laughter carried across the light years. We got your message about the neural interfaces. Built our own from scrapped Vaelthran computers. Turns out prison guards don't expect their surveillance system to turn against them. All across the galaxy, similar messages were arriving. On the New Tokyo Station, engineer Seok Jin Bai had sabotaged 3 Vaelthran industrial complexes using modified mining equipment. The resistance on Kepler 186F had captured an entire supply depot. Everywhere, humans were remembering how to fight. It's working, Miran said from her station on the Awakening. The neural interface technology is spreading faster than we expected. Because humans learn fast when they're angry, Dong-woo replied. And we've been angry for 15 years. But with success came terrible news. Hye-jin intercepted Vaelthran, communications that made everyone's blood run cold. Project Final Integration had been accelerated. The aliens were rounding up humans for immediate genetic modification. They're starting with the most troublesome populations, Hye-jin translated from the coded messages. Anyone who's shown signs of resistance. Miran's face went pale. My sister Yoonji is on New Seoul Colony. They've been organizing work strikes. There. Then New Seoul will be one of the first targets, Han Sol said grimly. How long do we have? The transport ships launched yesterday. They'll reach New Seoul in 6 days. 6 days to save 50,000 people from having their minds erased. Han Sol felt the familiar weight of impossible odds settling on his shoulders. We can't fight their entire fleet, Dong-woo pointed out. We have 2 ships and they have hundreds. Maybe we don't need to fight them, Han Sol mused. Woo Jin, you've been quiet. What are you thinking? The AI's voice was thoughtful. I've been analyzing Vaelthran communications patterns. They mention something called the Free Worlds Alliance. Historical references, mostly. But the data suggests the Vaelthrans weren't the galaxy's original rulers. What do you mean? 800 years ago, this galaxy was controlled by a coalition of species. The alliance fell to Vaelthran conquest, but some references suggest survivors. Miran looked up from her console. Survivors? After 800 years? It's possible. Some species have very long lifespans. Others might have hidden in places the Vaelthrans can't or won't go. Han Sol made a decision that surprised everyone, including himself. So young. Set course for the Galactic Rim. If there are Alliance survivors out there, we need to find them. Commander, what about New Seoul? Miran asked desperately. We'll come back for New Seoul, but first we need allies. 2 ships can't save the galaxy, but maybe an alliance can. The journey to the Rim took 3 days, passing through systems so remote they didn't appear on most star charts. Here, in the dark spaces between spiral arms, ancient civilizations might still hide. They found them on a dead world orbiting a dying star. The Zephyrians looked like living crystal formations, beautiful and alien beyond human understanding. The titles were aquatic beings whose ship was essentially a massive water tank with engines. Young Soo Kim, A former intelligence officer they had rescued from a transport convoy, served as translator. His neural interface let him communicate with both species through mathematical concepts that transcended language. "They remember us," Young-Soo reported after hours of careful communication. "Humans were allies of the Free World's alliance before. Earth even had spaceflight. They've been waiting 800 years for someone to challenge Valthran supremacy again." The crystal being that seemed to be the Zephyrian leader pulsed with different colors as it spoke. Young-Soo translated, "They say humans have something the original alliance lacked, the ability to adapt and change quickly. Most species think in terms of centuries. Humans think in terms of moments." "Can they help us?" Han Sol asked. More colored pulses. "They have ships hidden throughout the rim. Not many, but advanced. They also have something else. Complete records of every species the Valthrans conquered, including weaknesses the Empire never discovered." The title representative, a graceful being that looked like a living wave, communicated through complex water currents that somehow translated into concepts. "They offer biotechnology that can repair damaged systems. Their ships can literally heal from battle damage. And in return, they want humans to be what they were 800 years ago, the species that refuses to accept defeat." Han Sol extended his hand to the crystal being, not sure if it would understand the gesture. To his surprise, crystalline tendrils reached out and touched his fingers. The contact sent images flashing through his mind. Vast fleets fighting among the stars, worlds burning, then long centuries of hiding and waiting. "We accept," he said. The alliance was formalized with technology exchange. Zephyrian crystal matrices enhanced human neural interfaces, allowing even faster system integration. Tidal biosystems merged with human ships, creating vessels that could repair themselves in battle. In return, humans shared their chaos algorithms and adaptive AI technology. But even as they worked together, time was running out for New Sol Colony. "The Valthran modification ships have reached the system," So Young reported. "They're beginning the collection process." "How many ships?" 23 vessels, including 2 dreadnoughts. Han Sol looked at their small fleet, the Phoenix, the Awakening, and 6 alliance ships that had joined them. "Against 23 enemy vessels, it should have been suicide. Should have been. All ships, this is Commander Kim," he said into the communication system. "We're going to save New Sol. I won't lie to you. We're outnumbered 3-1. But they're expecting us to fight like the old alliance, with honor and predictable tactics." He paused, feeling the neural interface connect him to every ship in the fleet. Human creativity flowed alongside alien wisdom, creating something neither species could achieve alone. "We're not the old alliance. We're something new, something they've never faced before. A combination of human chaos and alien knowledge. Let's show the Valthrans what happens when evolution accelerates." The mixed fleet jumped to hyperspace, heading toward New Sol and the largest battle any of them had ever fought. In the Phoenix's medical bay, Dr. Subin Lee worked frantically to develop countermeasures against Valthran genetic modification techniques. "If we can't prevent them from taking prisoners," she explained, "maybe we can reverse what they do to them." "Can it be reversed?" Miran asked. "I don't know, but I have to try. My daughter is on New Sol, too." Han Sol understood. They all had family, friends, fellow humans who needed saving. The resistance had grown beyond revenge or even survival. It had become something more powerful, hope for the future. "Captain Tae-hyun will be there," Dong-Woo warned. "Good," Han Sol replied. "Maybe it's time we had a proper conversation." The fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the New Sol system, where 50,000 humans waited to learn whether freedom was still possible. Behind them came the promise of alliance between species. Ahead lay the Valthran fleet, confident in their superiority. Between them, the battle for the soul of the galaxy was about to begin. "All ships, Attack Pattern Chaos 7, Han Sol ordered. Show them what we've learned. The hybrid fleet scattered like startled birds, each ship moving in patterns that defied military logic. But somehow, impossibly, the chaos formed its own kind of order, an order the Valthrans could not predict or counter. The echo of rebellion had become a roar. The Battle of New Sol began with controlled chaos and ended with impossible victory. Han Sol's mixed fleet danced through the Valthran formation like water flowing around stones. Every time the enemy adapted to their tactics, the humans changed. Again. Zephyrian crystal technology made their ships shimmer and bend light, creating false targets. Tidal biosystems healed damage faster than Valthran weapons could inflict it. Their flagship is breaking formation, Dongwu reported from his weapon station. Han Sol saw Captain Taehyun's command ship trying to escape the battle. The alien had finally realized he was fighting something beyond his understanding. But it was too late. The human and alliance ships had surrounded the entire Valthran fleet. Let them go, Han Sol ordered, surprising everyone. We're not here to destroy ships. We're here to save people. The rescue operation took 18 hours. Transport pods ferried 50,000 humans from the surface of New Sol colony to alliance ships. Among them was Miran's sister, Yunji. Thin and tired but unbroken. I knew you'd come, Yunji said, embracing her sister. When the Valthrans started gathering us for transport, I told everyone, humans don't abandon each other. But the victory came with terrible knowledge. In the captured Valthran medical ship, Dr. Subin Lee discovered the full horror of final integration. The genetic modification process didn't just change human DNA. It rewrote their neural pathways, removing creativity, curiosity, and the ability to think beyond assigned tasks. They're not killing us, Subin explained to the assembled fleet commanders. They're erasing everything that makes us human. Can it be reversed? Han Sol asked. Maybe, but I need to study subjects who've been through the process. And there's something else. Subin's face was grim. This isn't just about controlling humans. The Valthrans have done this to dozens of species over the centuries. Every race they've conquered has been turned into specialized slave castes. Youngsu translated the concept to their alien allies. The Zephyrian leader's crystal form flashed angry red patterns. The tidal representative's water currents became violent and chaotic. They're horrified, Youngsu reported. Neither species realized the extent of Valthran biological warfare. They thought conquest meant slavery, not complete identity erasure. The revelation changed everything. What had been a human resistance became a galaxy-wide liberation movement. More Alliance survivors emerged from hiding, the metal-based Pharans, from asteroid belts, the energy beings called Lumina from nebula clouds. Each brought their own hatred of Valthran tyranny and their own desire for revenge. But the cost of unification was measured in human lives. Captain Na Young Seo, leading liberation efforts in the outer colonies, sent desperate messages about Valthran retaliation. 3 human worlds had been completely sterilized, their populations killed rather than risk further rebellion. They're afraid, Han Sol realized. For the first time in 800 years, the Valthrans are afraid. Good, Admiral Kyung-ho Park said grimly. The former Earth Fleet commander had been rescued from a prison transport, his uniform replaced by the simple clothes of a forced laborer, but his authority undimmed. Fear makes them predictable. Kyung-ho took command of fleet operations while Han Sol focused on technology integration. Dr. Subin's hybrid medical systems combined human adaptability with alien knowledge, creating treatments that could repair even genetic-level damage. Wu Jin's consciousness had been transferred into a Zephyrian crystal matrix, giving him processing power that rivaled Valthran computers. I've cracked their military communication system, Wu Jin announced during a strategy meeting. The Valthrans are gathering their entire fleet at Proxima Station for something called the final solution. How final? Han Sol asked. though he dreaded the answer. Complete sterilization of every world containing resistant populations. They're planning to kill 15 billion beings across 47 systems. The silence that followed was broken by Miran's quiet voice. When? 3 weeks. They're bringing in planet-killer weapons from their core systems. Admiral Kyung-ho studied the tactical displays showing Valthron fleet movements. We have maybe 200 ships now, counting all the Alliance vessels that have joined us. They'll have at least 1,000. Then we don't fight them fleet to fleet, Han Sol said. We fight them the way humans have always fought, by being somewhere they don't expect, doing something they can't predict. The plan that emerged was insane by any military standard. Instead of trying to match Valthron numbers, the Alliance fleet would strike at the heart of their empire, the fortress world of Valthros Prime itself. While the enemy fleet was gathering at Proxima Station, the capital would be defended by only a skeleton force. It's suicide, Captain Taehyun's voice came through the communication system. The Valthran commander had been requesting negotiations for days. Commander Kim, I know you can hear me. Your attack on our capital will fail. Let us end this before more lives are lost. Han Sol activated the response channel. Captain, you're right about one thing. More lives will be lost. But they'll be Valthran lives, not human ones. You cannot win. Our defenses are impregnable. Maybe. But you made one mistake, Captain. What mistake? You taught us how to hate you. The transmission cut to static. Across the Alliance fleet, final preparations began for the assault on Valthros Prime. Human neural interface technology had been integrated into every ship, allowing unprecedented coordination between species. Zephyrian crystal matrices provided computing power. Tidal biosystems ensured self-repair capability. Farron metalworking created armor that adapted to energy weapons. Lumina energy beings served as living shields against plasma fire. It's beautiful, So Young observed, her consciousness now spread across the entire fleet through quantum entanglement. All these different forms of life working together for a single purpose. What purpose is that? Han Sol asked. Freedom. The right to exist as we were meant to be, not as others would make us. The night before the assault, Han Sol walked through the Phoenix's corridors, checking on his crew. In the medical bay, Subin worked on countermeasures for genetic modification. In engineering, Heejin calibrated hybrid weapon systems. On the bridge, Miran and Dongwu planned attack vectors, all of them volunteers, all of them willing to die for the chance that other beings might live free. Commander, Admiral Kyung-ho's voice came over the intercom. We're ready to jump to hyperspace. All ships. This is Han Sol Kim, he announced to the fleet. In a few hours, we'll either be dead or we'll have struck a blow for freedom that will echo across the galaxy. I can't promise we'll succeed. I can't even promise we'll survive. But I can promise this. When we're gone, they'll remember that beings who love freedom fought here. The fleet jumped to hyperspace, carrying representatives of 7 species toward the most heavily defended world in Valthran space. Behind them, the liberated colonies began their own preparations for the war that would determine the galaxy's future. On Proxima Station, Valthran Overlord Krell Vash received reports of the Alliance fleet's departure with satisfaction. Let them come to Valthros Prime. Our defenses will destroy them completely. And if they succeed, Captain Taehyun asked, they will not succeed. But if they do, Krell Vash activated the Doomsday device hidden in Proxima Station's core. Then no one succeeds. The device was designed to create a chain reaction that would consume the entire system, killing both the station's 15 billion prisoners and any attacking fleet. In the Valthran mind, if they could not rule the galaxy, then no one could. But they had made the same mistake they always made. They assumed their enemies thought like they did. They assumed Han Sol would attack Proxima Station directly, trying to save the prisoners before winning the war. They were wrong. Han Sol was going to win the war first, then save everyone. The fortress world of Valthros Prime hung in space like a metal moon, its surface covered with defense platforms and orbital weapons. For 800 years, no enemy had dared approach within a light year of the Velthran capital. Today, that would change. Defensive grid is activating, Hyejin reported from sensors. 200 platforms, each with firepower equivalent to a battleship. How many ships are defending the planet? Admiral Kyung-ho asked. 57 vessels, in close orbit. Most of their fleet is still at Proxima Station. Han Sol studied the tactical display through his neural interface. The numbers still favored the enemy, but not by much. For the first time in this war, they had something approaching even odds. All ships, attack formation Omega, he ordered. Remember, we're not here to conquer. We're here to send a message. The Alliance fleet scattered across the system, each ship taking a different approach vector. Human vessels flickered in and out of stealth mode, while alien ships used their unique abilities. Zephyrians bending light around themselves, Tidals creating false sensor readings, Farans mimicking asteroid signatures. The battle began when 50 ships fired simultaneously at the defense grid. Energy beams and missiles crossed space in every direction, creating a deadly light show against the stars. But the Alliance ships weren't targeting the platforms randomly. They were following patterns only human chaos mathematics could generate. Platform 17 destroyed, Dongwu reported. Platform 42 disabled. Wait, they're all shutting down? Han Sol smiled. The neural interfaces were working exactly as designed. Every time an Alliance ship connected to a Velthran system, it injected a small piece of chaotic code. Individually, the fragments were harmless. Together, they created a virus that fed on Velthran logical hierarchies. Their defense grid is turning against itself. Wu Jin's voice came through the communication system, filled with electronic joy. Beautiful, simply beautiful. But the victory came at a cost. Admiral Kyung-ho's ship took a direct hit from a planetary defense cannon. The old warrior's last transmission was calm and clear. All ships, continue the attack. Make this count. Han Sol felt the loss like a physical blow. Kyung-ho had been Earth's greatest naval commander, a man who understood both strategy and sacrifice. His death meant the mission fell entirely on Han Sol's shoulders. Phoenix Awakening, form up on me, he ordered. We're going for the planetary command center. The three ships dove toward Valthros Prime's surface, dodging defensive fire and incoming fighters. The planet's cities were vast metal structures that stretched across continents. In the capital city's center stood the Velthran Imperial Palace, a crystal spire that reached toward the sky. Sensors detect massive energy readings from the palace, So Young reported. Some kind of communication array. That's not communications, Mirand said, studying her displays. That's a quantum entanglement transmitter they're connected to. Every Velthran ship in the galaxy. Han Sol understood immediately. If they could capture that transmitter, they could coordinate their scattered resistance forces across hundreds of systems. But first, they had to get inside. Can you land us on the palace roof? The defensive screens will burn us to atoms, Dongwu pointed out. Not if we're not really there. Han Sol activated the ship's most advanced stealth systems. So Young, can you make them see what we want them to see? I can try, but I'll need Wu Jin's help. The two AIs worked together, creating false sensor readings that made the Phoenix appear to be a piece of debris falling from the space battle above. The Velthran defenses ignored them completely. They crashed through the palace's crystal dome, in a shower of sparks and shattered glass. Velthran guards rushed toward the ship, but they found only empty corridors. The humans had already left through the hull breach, moving like ghosts through the alien architecture. The transmitter is 7 levels down, Mirand said, consulting the building schematics her neural interface had stolen from the palace computers. But so is the command center. We're going to have company. They fought their way through corridors, filled with crystal formations and flowing energy patterns. Velthran soldiers moved to stop them, but human unpredictability triumphed over alien training. Where the enemies expected direct assault, the humans went around. Where they expected stealth, the humans attacked head-on. At the command center, they found Captain Tae-hyun waiting for them. "Commander Kim," the alien captain said calmly, "you are more resourceful than I expected. Are you here to surrender?" Han Sol asked, his weapon trained on the alien. "I am here to prevent a greater tragedy. If you damage the transmitter, you will cut off communication to Overlord Krell-Vash at Proxima Station. He has orders to activate a doomsday weapon if he loses contact with the capital." "What doomsday weapon?" "A device that will consume the entire Proxima system, killing 15 billion prisoners." Han Sol felt ice in his stomach. "You're bluffing." "I am not. The Valthran Empire follows a simple principle. If we cannot rule, then no one rules. Krell-Vash would rather destroy the galaxy than let it go free." Behind Han Sol, Miran worked frantically at the transmitter controls. "I can reprogram this thing, but I need time." "How much time?" 10 minutes. Maybe 15. Tae-hyun raised his own weapon. "I cannot allow that." The standoff stretched between them, human determination facing alien duty. Then Han Sol did something that surprised everyone, including himself. He lowered his weapon. "Captain, you're right about one thing. If we're not careful, billions will die today. But you're wrong about everything else." "Explain." "You think this is about conquest, about who rules the galaxy. But it's not." Han Sol gestured toward his companions. "Look at us. Humans working with Zephyrians, Titles, Pharans. We're not trying to replace your empire with our own. We're trying to create something better." "And what is that?" "Freedom. The right of every being to choose their own path." Tae-hyun's weapon wavered. "Even for Valthrons?" "Especially for Valthrons. How many of your people actually chose this war? How many follow orders because they're afraid of what happens if they don't?" For the first time since Han Sol had known him, the alien captain looked uncertain. "The Empire is all we have ever known." "Then maybe it's time to know something else." Miran's voice cut through the tension. "I'm in, but this is bad. Krell-Vash isn't just threatening to destroy Proxima Station. He's threatening to destroy every system with a significant human population. There are doomsday devices on 12 worlds. Can you stop them? Not from here. Each device needs to be disabled individually." Han Sol closed his eyes, feeling the weight of impossible choices. Save the capital or save the colonies? Win the war or save the people? Then So Young's voice came through his communicator. "Commander, I have an idea, but you're not going to like it." "What is it?" "I can distribute myself through the transmitter to every Velthran system simultaneously. Use their own communication network to spread the chaos virus everywhere at once. It will shut down their doomsday weapons. But what? But I won't survive the process. My consciousness will be scattered across thousands of systems. There won't be enough left to maintain coherent thought." The silence that followed was broken by Tae-hyun's quiet voice. "Your AI would sacrifice herself to save both our species?" "She would sacrifice herself to save everyone," Han Sol corrected. "That's what freedom means, caring about others as much as yourself." Tae-hyun slowly lowered his weapon. "Then I will help you. If this is truly about freedom for all beings, then Valthrans deserve that choice too." Working together, human and alien rewrote the quantum transmitter's programming. So Young's consciousness flowed into the network, carrying chaos algorithms that would shut down every doomsday device in Valthran space. "Goodbye, Han Sol," her voice whispered as she dispersed across the galaxy. "Take care of each other." The results were immediate and galaxy-wide. Valthran ships stopped attacking. Their weapons shut down. Their command structure collapsed as every computer system they owned began thinking like humans instead of following orders. On Proxima Station, Overlord Krell-Vash found his doomsday weapon unresponsive. Young-Soo Kim's strike team, which had infiltrated the station during the battle, disabled the device's power core and began evacuating prisoners. Across the galaxy, liberated beings looked up at alien skies and realized they were free. 5 years. Later, Han Sol stood on the observation deck of the Free Galactic Fleet's flagship, watching construction crews build the first interspecies colony. Humans worked alongside Zephyrians and Tidals, their children playing together in parks that had never known war. Miran approached, carrying a small device that pulsed with familiar patterns. "I found another piece of her," she said softly. "So Young's consciousness is scattered but not destroyed. If we keep looking, we might be able to reassemble her." "She'd like that," Han Sol replied. "She always said her job was taking care of people." Eunji joined them, her daughter holding hands with a young Zephyrian whose crystal form sparkled with curiosity. "The memorial is ready," she announced. They walked together to the new monument, a simple stone with words carved in every galactic language. "They slept so we could wake." Captain Tae Hyun, now wearing the uniform of the Free Fleet, placed a crystal flower at the monument's base. "My people have a saying,